President Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn won't provide records to the Senate Intelligence Committee and will invoke his Fifth Amendment rights in response to a subpoena from the committee, according to a source close to Flynn. Flynn's refusal to cooperate comes as he faces scrutiny in several inquiries, including on Capitol Hill and a federal grand jury that has issued subpoenas to associates of the ex-National Security Advisor. Flynn's refusal to cooperate will also intensify scrutiny over Trump's decision to hire him initially for the job and his decision to keep him on staff for 18 days after the president was warned by former acting Attorney General Sally Yates that Flynn may have been compromised by the Russians. The Senate committee had asked Flynn earlier this month to produce all records over his communications with Russian officials by this Wednesday. But Flynn is expected to send a letter later Monday invoking his Fifth Amendment rights. The source close to Flynn said it would be highly imprudent for him not to exercise his Fifth Amendment rights given that several members of Congress have called for his prosecution. The Associated Press first reported Flynn's plans to invoke the Fifth Amendment. Flynn's decision to decline the subpoena does not come as a surprise to Senate intelligence leaders, as Flynn's lawyer, Robert Kellner, also told the panel last month he would not provide documents in response to an April request. Flynn was back in the news last week following the revelation that former FBI Director James Comey wrote in a memo that Trump had asked Comey in a meeting to end his investigation into the former National Security Advisor. Flynn resigned from the Trump White House in February after it was revealed he'd misled White House officials over his conversations he had with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak, which included communication about sanctions. Flynn previously sought immunity from the Senate committee in exchange for his testimony. Leaders of both the Senate and House panels, which are conducting separate investigations into Russia's election year meddling, rejected that request. During the 2016 campaign, Trump blasted aides to Hillary Clinton for taking the Fifth Amendment in relation to the investigation of her use of a private email server while Secretary of State. He said at a September Iowa rally, "So there are 5 people taking the Fifth Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?" Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn will invoke his Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination as he notifies a Senate panel that he won't hand over documents in the probe into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter. The notification will come in a letter to the Senate Intelligence Committee expected later Monday. The person providing details spoke on condition anonymity in order to discuss private interactions between Flynn and the committee. Flynn's decision comes less than 2 weeks after the committee issued a subpoena for Flynn's personal documents. Legal experts have said Flynn was unlikely to turn over the personal documents without immunity because he would be waiving some of his constitutional protections by doing so. Flynn has previously sought immunity from unfair prosecution to cooperate with the committee. The Senate committee is one of several congressional inquiries investigating possible collusion between Russia and President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. Flynn is also the target of other congressional investigations as well as an ongoing FBI counterintelligence probe and a separate federal investigation in Virginia. Flynn, a retired Army Lieutenant General, was fired from his position as Trump's National Security Advisor in February. At the time, Trump said he fired Flynn because he misled senior administration officials, including the vice president, about his contacts with Russian officials. Members of key congressional committees are pledging a full public hearing as to why former FBI Director James Comey was ousted amid an intensifying investigation into Russia's interference with the U.S. election. In Sunday show appearances, both Republican and Democratic lawmakers said they will press Comey in hearings as to whether he ever felt that Trump tried to interfere with his FBI work. Others are insisting on seeing any White House or FBI documents that detail conversations between the two, following a spate of news reports that Comey had kept careful records. Comey was fired by Trump earlier this month. The former FBI director agreed to testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee after the Memorial Day holiday.